And I tell you something else. I don't know why everybody's trying to lose weight and lose this in the first place. We ain't all supposed to be the same size. Big, small, medium, large. Like Oprah Winfrey. Wasn't nothing wrong with her. Oprah was a fox. She lose all that weight, her head look all big, body look all small, skin hanging all off her.
Ain't nothing wrong with Oprah. I saw Oprah on Hard Copy last week. She was the picture of health. Got a nice, young, strong gentleman named Stedman. So handsome. She's my favorite out of all of them. Jenny Jones, Maury Povich, Madeline Cages, Leno, Montel, Ricky Lake, Mike Douglas. Mike Douglas used to make me moist when I used to watch his show. You know, I'll admit it. He was the only white man to ever do that to me. Mike Douglas used to make me moist. Guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Tyra here with another struggle review, here to discuss The Nutty Professor. Now, this movie is from 1996 and it stars Eddie Murphy and Jada Pinkett Smith. Now, before I get into some things that really still work here and some shit that just absolutely didn't for me, I need you guys to drop down and subscribe to my channel and like this video. I'm gonna give you guys a moment to do that, and then we're gonna come back and discuss all things, you know, Sherman. Sometimes Sherman was not Sherman. It was just, I just wanted it to be over.
Go back.
Now that you guys have hopefully subscribed to see more of me, let's get into this movie. But before we jump into the video, I have to give a shout out to the person who paid for and requested this movie. If you happen to get your whole Sherman ass life, it's not because of me, it's because of this person right here. Thank you so much for supporting me and paying for this content. Hercules. Now, getting into this movie was directed by Tom Shadyac, and he is the director of a plethora of Jim Carrey movies and is very present here in this film. You totally see hints of Ace Ventura, Bruce Almighty, Liar Liar. Lends itself really well in a movie like The Nutty Professor. So many characters, especially ones like Buddy Love, all that screaming, big, larger-than-life personality that we see captured on film with Jim Carrey. You totally see it here in this film. And lastly, what a lot of people do not know is this is a remake from a 1963 film by the same name, starring Jerry Lewis. This is very much so his film, his creation, the characters, the base, it's all here. If you have not had a chance to go and revisit this 1963 film just because you maybe didn't want to or didn't even know it existed, please go and watch it. I only seen it one time and it stuck with me very much. You see certain nuances and things about the characters that you just don't get in the Nutty Professor film. Not that it's a bad film at all. The films pretty much have the exact same premise, but some things are lacking in one film that aren't lacking so much in the other. I found myself really enjoying the Buddy Love in the 1963 version a lot more than the 1996 film. Jerry Lewis has this great transition between characters of the Professor and Buddy. I feel like characters like Miss Purdy and the Dean are a lot more developed and well-rounded than in the other film. And we also get a different dynamic because he's just, you know, wimpy, a little nerdy, and we're not leaning so much into the fat joke territory. So you get something totally different. But the movie has a whole lot to offer. Now, instantly when the movie starts, we open with those fabulous makeup effects by Rick Baker, with Eddie Murphy giving us his very best Richard Simmons interpretations. Don't you feel like a pony when you sweat? I'm voguing. It's all here. Now, of course, Rick Baker worked with him on my personal favorite Eddie Murphy film, Coming to America, with those fabulous makeup effects. So when we get into all the characters here that are portrayed by Eddie Murphy and him embodying an entirely different person, bodysuit, the makeup effects, it's all amazing because it's done by Rick Baker, and he is that dude. Now, right away, I was extremely taken back with how much this film relied on Sherman being overweight as a joke factor. It got really exhausting and really tired very, very quick. And I was so shocked because I used to absolutely love these things. I enjoyed the films. Like, I remember watching this VHS all the goddamn time. But immediately, even with, the hamsters being set free because he accidentally, hit the switch with his stomach, or the dean and being, overbearing, really disrespectful, very condescending just because, he is overweight and he's trying to squeeze into the chair. And it's just like repeated fat joke after fat joke. And it is just really off-putting, painting him and his family to be really full of gluttony, not having any self-control, but at the same time embracing their size, which is always great to see. But at the same time, nobody is embracing the fact that Sherman wants to be healthy. He wants a life change. He wants to take the skin off the chicken. It's just like, no, we're fat. The entire family's fat. We're always gonna be fat. We was born fat, gonna die fat. Put all of this greasy grease on this chicken and this gravy and just eat it. And it's just, it was so forceful and really, really heavy-handed. But for the most part, you can really, really see how much time has changed with this movie versus what's, really acceptable now. And I am not one. I love old school comedy. I absolutely adore it. I hate the fact that we have to step on eggshells now when it comes to certain content. But this subject matter in particular just was not funny and has not really aged well in so many areas within this film. But, what did age well? That motherfucking round table. Now, as far as Eddie Murphy is concerned, I do remember loving The Nutty Professor, but my favorite films from him, period, that will always stand the test of time and be absolutely fall out of your chair funny every single time you watch it, will always be Boomerang, Coming to America, and Harlem Nights. The Nutty Professor was always, a little further down on my list, but what really kept me here and kept me interested and made me laugh still to this day was that round table when Sherman goes to have dinner with his family. We already see where he is as a man. He is Sherman is a freaking sweetheart, and he wants nothing more than to not only be acknowledged for his brilliance, him being a professor, a scientist. He wants love, he wants affection, he wants a relationship, and he believes that he can obtain all of those things if he just loses some weight, that admiration, that respect, and Miss Purdy, who we will get to in a second. But that freaking round table with those fabulous, Rick Baker makeups, like, I feel like it is not really discussed enough at how amazing Eddie Murphy is in those elements. We already saw it personified in Coming to America, the way he is able to completely become an entirely new person, to where you're just not even acknowledging that all of these motherfuckers are Eddie Murphy. I can vividly remember in Coming to America, the Jewish, what is that, velvet? What is the soup? Tracy soup? I did not know for the longest time that was even Eddie Murphy. I had no clue. Now we also have Jada Pinkett Smith here as Carla Purdy, aka By Wig. And this is coming from a person with a wig on. By Wig. I can remember being a fucking kid, looking at that wig, wondering who had the nerve to sit and place that stiff ass wig on her head. That wig was disrespectful to my nature. Like, it pissed me off. That fucking wig manages to piss me off in this movie every single time. And not just the wig, but what I love about the 1963 version, Miss Purdy, even though they have that weird relationship of her not being some up and coming grad student trying to, be a professor, she is actually a student in the professor's class that he's low-key kind of lusting after. No, she was fleshed out. She had a little bit of depth. She had more character. Miss Purdy here was the driest, stalest, most boring, one note. I was like, damn, I did not remember it being this way. Now, via the character, we can tell that she is trying to exude, she's not biased. She sees, past Sherman's size and sees the person inside, this very sweet, demure persona. But it was like, damn, it was so boring and so long-winded. What I loved and enjoyed the most about this movie, outside of those wonderful family fucking, come on nigga, I ain't no easy, don't let the gray hair fool you, I ain't no easy way nigga, those goddamn round tables, was Sherman himself. Sherman as a character, and him trying to get the courage to accept himself for who he is, but also, hey, I don't have to just strictly accept this, even if my family is mostly made up of heavier people. I can, climb those steps. I can, lift that up. I don't have to accept being depressed in here with my one-man dinner. Oh, you got to close the door, baby. Sherman was lit. Sherman was ready for that date with Miss having a good ass time. That whole scenario when we get into the screen and them sitting front row, you cannot help but think of the goddamn Oscars and goddamn Will Smith slapping Chris Rock. It is written all over the fucking place, and it completely took away from the scene. Now, of course, it was like, okay, everybody knows when you go to a goddamn comedy show, when you sit on the front row, you might just be asking for it. But not even with the whole Oscar situation. It's just really shocking at how we just can't do certain things anymore. Back in the day, you could totally sit front row and you get heckled, you get talked about, you get picked on, and that was just a part of the experience. But even so much now with the whole Dave Chappelle situation, the irony here of him being attacked, you cannot speak freely as a comedian anymore. So it was so great to see people get heckled, people get joked on, and everybody just laugh and it flips off your back like it's a comedy show. We come here to laugh, and sometimes the joke is at your expense. Now, of course, we have this be a heart-wrenching moment. Who's sucking whose titties over here? I'm sorry, Dave Chappelle was funny. That still worked. Dave Chappelle and the jokes were still funny. It still hit. He put his belt on with a boomerang. He is just so good here as Reggie. It's so great, and it still resonated, even though I was feeling for Sherman in that moment, and how that just completely killed his confidence and what he ever thought he could be to Miss Purdy, which gets him to want to change and take, the potion and whatnot in the first place. That we dove too much into that. What we did decide to dive into, though, was fucking Buddy Love. I was so annoyed. I love the aspects of Sherman. I love the family, the fart jokes and whatnot, some of the elements of, his weight being used for humor, I can give or take. Eddie Murphy here as Buddy Love was so obnoxious and off-putting. I literally wanted to throw my TV. I cannot believe how fed up I was. And no. Go back and watch that shit and just take a look at how off-putting it is and how disturbing and just unwanted all of the gestures are. Now, of course, we are getting to the point of Buddy Love is supposed to be everything that Sherman can't be in real life. He is completely, pretty much the opposite. Not only is he fit and in shape, but where Sherman is more quiet, he's super fucking loud and obnoxious. He's rude, he's a liar, he's inconsiderate, he's a cheater. He displays all of these really, really poor qualities, which is, pretty much like that first film But the way he decides to display them and how obnoxious and rambunctious and off-putting Buddy Love is just almost delusional to think that anybody would like him, let alone be attracted to anything that he has to offer. It was just absolutely getting on my fucking nerves. Get out of my face, Buddy. Get out of my face. Now, the only time that Buddy Love actually works here is when he is just being calm and being himself and just being fucking petty. The over-exhausted laughter, the loudness, it kind of goes out the window when we get into shit like, look at Reggie's tooth and gums. You would swear his mother and father had an affair with Mr. Ed or some shit like that. Like, those are really great moments. Those are moments that are still funny. You know, loving you is easy cause you're beautiful. Do, 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 do. Reggie. Oh, see, those moments are still funny. And silence. Enough. I can't take this shit no more. Now it's time for Reggie to lay it to your mama. Like, those are really funny moments. I found myself laughing at Reggie's performance more than anything. Now, sadly, after we leave the screen and we have Eddie Murphy, you know, Buddy Love Sherman kind of get his revenge and have common interest with Miss Purdy, the movie just starts to completely drag. We have him, you know, have his transformation, and we have his little lab student find out, and we have Sherman have this inner conflict of what he wants to do. He really would like to be himself, but he sees that Carla has more interest. We have the whole family. Sherman gonna have relations. Sherman gonna get some, but that second dinner is. It's kind of subtracted from because it's so filled with more and more fat and fart jokes and all of these other things that I lost interest in way in the beginning of the film. So it was really dragging personally for me. Now, we also have a lot of time with Buddy Love, and it is just it's just like, who the hell would like this person? Not only is he, you know, kind of a serial cheater, he decides he's really, you know, bragging. You know, he said he can handle all three of us. We get into these wild parties, him trying to completely take over Sherman's life. And I did not care for Buddy Love's character at all. I just lost interest anytime he was on the screen. I didn't think it was funny. I cared more for Sherman and his plight and his storyline of, you know, self-love and you being able to get past certain things, be healthy, be great, and also find love for who you are as a person, you know, your mind, your mental, everything else you have to offer outside of your physical appearance. Buddy Love was straight up tired, and I was tired of watching that shit. We have it, you know, pick up near the end when we have Sherman get ready to, you know, take his life back. But of course, when he was Buddy Love, he switched to Slim Fast with the potion, and he transitions and transforms, and the whole big. I ain't gonna keep picking your big ass up. The thing that saved this movie was Eddie Murphy's family and Dave Chappelle. And Sherman himself. Everything outside of that, I had no interest in Carla. I had no interest in Buddy Love. I had no interest in, you know, him trying to get money for the school and the whole dean and the potion and trying to sell, you know, the product. You need me, Sherman. You need me. That whole, you know, that big message that he has on stage. You know, it's not, you know, the flailing and the fat and lip. Those things aren't really funny. What's funny is his parents, you know, on the side, you know, I brought my knife. I brought my mace. Get your ass up. I ain't gonna keep, like, those things are still funny. And even, of course, the end, because we have Sherman himself going, you know, I just needed to be happy with myself. I've been lying, I've been this, but it's just because I didn't believe in myself, or, you know, the confidence. But now I do. If anybody wants to be with me or work with me or just be my friend, I have to accept myself for who I am, and you guys have to accept me too. Of course, we have Carla running around in that ugly ass wig, and we end, you know, with the bump and the dance. Not even that, fuck all of that. We end with what I love from Eddie Murphy's movies in general, even when we get into things like Life. The blooper reel is always popping and always funnier than the actual film. I love the whole blooper reel, but I don't really just have a whole lot to elaborate on with this film, because I was taken back at how much I just really didn't enjoy it. I was hoping to have so much and reminisce and all that good stuff. Besides the soundtrack, you're the only one for me. You're the only one I need. Can't nobody make me feel. Come on, Case. The way you're making me. You know, besides that, the touch me, tease me, you know, Montell, some but honeys, shit like that, I didn't care for the film. Well, you guys, that was my review for The Nutty Professor. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you didn't, I mean, please drop down and tell me what you guys thought about the film. Does this still resonate with you? Is it still a good time? Is it still a riot? Do you laugh at every single part of the film? Was this never your cup of tea? Do you not like it anymore? Are you more, you know, team me? Drop down and let me know those things. I love to hear them. I love to discuss them. I see you guys for my next video. Bye.